Welcome to the Traders Show. This show is brought to you by Pepperstone. Pepperstone is an award-winning online global FOREX and CFD broker. It offers unparalleled service, exceptional pricing, and fast execution speed. Pepperstone gives you access into the global markets with more trading opportunities, first-class customer service, and peace of mind. Withdrawals are quick, and for those in Kenya, M-Pesa is enabled. Pepperstone Markets is regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. To open an account with Pepperstone, you can click the links on the descriptions below.
Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast here at the Traders Show. It's me, Caleb, here alongside my co-hosts. And today we'll be interviewing a good friend of ours who is also in the investment industry. And this is going to be a really interesting topic. As we said, this year we're mainly focusing on bringing guests, more and more guests in a wide variety of industries, okay? So guys who are into entrepreneurship, business, cryptocurrencies, trading, all. Okay, anyone who can teach you a thing or two about business. So today, Ken will introduce the guest we have, but we'll be talking about focusing at least today on the local market, investing in the I'm used to the Nairobi Stock Exchange in NSE, training people how to invest in entrepreneurship lessons from the guest we'll have that Ken will talk about him, and then we'll kick it off from there. So that's it from me. I don't have anything much to say. We normally do a recap of the markets. Currently, we are working on something very, very big that we're going to announce very soon. So of late, I haven't been really taking too many trades in terms of how markets are behaving and all. Yes, I've been watching, following, updating my clients and students on where the market is. But personally, there are a few things we've been working on and we'll announce it very soon in the next week or two. Wait on it. You're going to be really excited about what is going to come. We're about to change the game. But that's it from me, Taras.
Hello, greetings everyone. My name is Taras Lawi, and I'm glad to be here again for another episode. And we have a guest, as Caleb said. Ken will introduce the details of the guest. Very interesting. I'm sure you guys will learn a lot. And this is free knowledge. These guys they charge people for this content, yeah. And we are getting into them. We are telling them, please, let's share it through our podcast. So I'm glad to be here with Clarence, and I've known you for a while digitally, seeing your work, and it's really, really good work. And I'll be here. I'll be glad to I'll learn more of what you do and how we can even collaborate better to make this investment world in Kenya work better.
Okay, hello traders. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you're listening us from. So as my two colleagues have said, today we are lucky to be joined by a guest. So like Lawi said, we've been tracking. We always track people who are in the same field with us. So if you're a young person, okay, not necessarily young, but if you're working on something that's interesting to us, we'll keep on looking at you and tracking how you're doing things. And that's how we knew Clarence. So we've been following Clarence for quite some time now, learning a lot from him. And we actually thought we should have him on the show. And I reached out to him and he accepted. So first of all, thanks a lot for creating the time. We know people have busy schedules. So bringing in some 2 hours, 3 hours to do something like this, it's not really something easy, but thanks a lot for creating the time. So before I start, I'll introduce Clarence. I'll give you a brief bio of what he does, what he has done, and what he's currently doing. Then we'll go into the show. We'll chat about different things about investing in the Kenyan stock market. Like Caleb said, investing in other businesses, entrepreneurship. There are many things we'll tackle. And hopefully you'll learn one or two things that will be of help to you as you'll be navigating in your investment world. So, Clarence is the founder of multiple organizations. Multiple is the key word. So he founded Young Investor Space, which has trained over 540 people on how to invest in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. He studied finance in USIU and graduated with a GPA of 3.8 out of 4. So congrats for that. He started an investment club as a student in USIU called Young Investors Club. Founded a saving platform called To Save in 2019. Clarence is also passionate about community service and hiking. He organized a group of youth last year sometime for a tree planting project that was done. So that's basically what Clarence does. He'll tell us more about his business, how he got to where he is. He's only 21 actually. That's another key thing that I think you should also track. And he's accomplished a lot in those few years. So I think we need to be able to track what Clarence has been doing and see how we can navigate and learn a lot from him. So to kick us off, I can ask the first question and then you guys will continue, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so How
By
did
the
you
way,
get started?
welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Just
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
So how did you like get started in the investment world?
What's your story?
What's your story?
Amazing. So thank you guys. I'm glad to be here with Caleb, Taras, and Ken. It's a pleasure to see young guys doing amazing things. You guys do forex, so you guys,
Yeah.
you guys have balls.
Thanks.
Very interesting. Thank you for the introduction. I'm really glad and really proud to have reached where I am today, and I'm really grateful for the opportunities accorded to me and for the growth I've had. Yes, so guys, yes, I'm a Christian. I love sports. I love football. I love Formula One. I love table tennis. Apart from that, yes, I'm an investor and an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about business and investment. And as you said, we have Young Investors Africa, a wonderful company since 2020, training over 50 guys, paid students, I would say, but reaching over 7,000 people through talks, through events, through webinars and lives. And it's been a great journey. And more than that, our business is focused on three things, which is business, investment, and community service. And we have a Formula One business selling Formula One gear, and also we do in terms of CSR. We did a lot of CSR projects. We did one in Mathare Primary that raised 1.3 M for the school and built them a library. Done a lot of charitable events with our partners, One Boy Career Foundation, SDG Youth, which I'm a founding member of, and also doing tree planting yesterday as Young Investors Africa. Last year as Young Investors Africa, which was really an amazing experience. I always love trees, just getting the opportunity to get a group of guys and for us to be able to raise money from social media and friends and family, and to go to rerouter and basically plant trees that will be maintained for 3 years plus was just an amazing thing, because we focus on sustainability. We don't want to plant a tree next to the school and then you in a football or a ball. We want for it to be maintained and to be taken care of, and so that you can come and visit it 3 years from now.
Okay.
Yes, and so the question you asked was, how did I start my journey?
Yeah.
I would say my journey in business and investment, especially now focusing on investment, business and investment are very similar. And I started doing business from class 4, basically. And I was selling newspapers, photos of football. I was in a boarding school.
Okay.
And so my dad was working in this business that was giving them newspapers. And so every day he had a newspaper. And I looked at our son, I was like, all these newspapers. And so I realized when I went to boarding school for the first time, which was very tough for me, going to a very tough boarding school at the age of
Class
11 or 10. Or class 5, actually, class 5.
Class 5, okay.
It was very tough. But I realized, hey, these guys over here, guys are putting photos of, wanaume tu, cars, football, and ladies in their desks. And
Class 5.
Yeah, unajua sasa labda umeyako class 7 ndio ataweka kwa hiyo ataweka madem, but class 5 someone is just Ronaldo, Messi is buying everything, Man U, Arsenal. Like for me, I've grown up loving sports, vibaya sana. And I realized these guys love it. And so I just realized the first lesson I learned was, if you have a great product, build a business around it. So I just got all those papers, created a very big bunch, and I went to Gil Hills, and I was doing business, you're supporting Man U, I give you a photo of Man U, you give me milk.
It was butter trade.
It was butter trade. Uko na 20 bob, and later 20 bob nipatie hii na hii. And it was great business, and I was like living, nilikuwa nimeomoka kidogo. Tena kunyolewa mimi ndo naye kwa cut. Nipatie jamaa 20 bob. And that time it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. And it was just venturing into business and seeing the power of basically the power of business and also the power of having resources. Actually, Clarence, man, I really, really want this photo of Messi, but sina 10 bob, sina spices, sina maziwa. Unataka nini? Namwambia unataka kosha shati? Nasema ni sawa. So
let's strike a deal.
Yeah. So I also learned how to negotiate and to do business. And people will actually offer me things and be like, hey, do you wash your football boots? Zilikuwa chafu sana. Kwanza watu wako wanaoga na kuosha. Cleanliness in a boys' school is very low, especially in primary. So that was my nini. Went to high school. This guy who was selling pin pops, and he was making a killing. People are saying he's even making more money than the teachers.
Serious? With pin pops?
Yeah, because it was a boarding school and there were only 3 day scholars in the school.
Which
so he had
school did you go
access. I went to Juja.
Okay.
And to
Preparatory.
unajua inafikanga 11 unasikia bana lunchtime ni 1 lakini nasikia nitakufa. Nasikia so he would sell a pin pop at 3 times 4 times the price, and it was a mixed school, so ulikuwa unapata mtu anabuy
3 times the price, so alikuwa anauza how much?
30 bob 40 bob, and people would buy
Moja,
because
yeah.
uko njaa hiyo time manze, you feel like
True.
alafu unajua in high school people have more money, you know, and it was a I can say haikuwa shule imesota, and so and then his friend was like, this guy is making money, si tufanye hii biashara pia sisi. So but then he wasn't very social, and he looked around and so this Jamaa Clarence is always moving around, saying hi to guys, talking about football, juu tena kucheza match year 11 versus year 10, juu year 11 versus form 3 versus form 2, and he's like, can you sell for me, and can you help me sell? And I was like, deal, and we made a partnership.
Okay.
And the advantage we had of a competitor was that he would go home at night. So at night I was the sole.
Oh, him is the desk scholar.
He was a desk scholar.
Okay.
You know, mimi nilikuanga
Sikuenda plug.
Night plug.
So usiku sasa mimi ndio
Plug work.
sole entrepreneur Pablo mwenyewe. And it was a good business, just seeing the power of partnership. And power of you see someone has what you don't have and you can do things together.
So how did you even get these sweets to school, first of all?
The guy would sneak them in, the scholar.
So it was not allowed actually to do that.
It was an illegal business.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, it was an illegal business. But you know, see at it to know the bank or anything, you can just pin pops.
You Kishiko, there's no problem.
Actually, we actually, you know, when you're nasemanga, like if it is something that adds value to people, it's not something bad. It's just that you can't go sell a pin pop to a teacher. And then they say, if you're sneaking in pin pops, we know that you're sneaking in drugs and you're sneaking in these things. So it was just that nini. And
Did it get you in trouble? Any trouble?
No.
Okay.
I usually say I'm very favored. I feel like I usually say I'm God's favorite. I just sikuwahi shikwa.
Kuna mtu alishaishikwa?
That guy, our competitor was caught. His
Out
stock
of
for the week
business.
was confiscated. But you know, business continues. He's like, I'm just
It
down
is what it
500
is.
bob.
Yeah.
Which got 50 pin pops. But I'll just, you know, I've been making a lot of money, so he just figured out a way of nini.
Yeah.
And so it was a great experience. And then now when I was finishing high school, mtu akona psych, you feel like you'll conquer the entire world.
Everyone has that.
You know, yeah,
feeling.
like actually, I mean, when the time I was doing my exams, and I was writing down, I want to just start a milk ATM in Tindigwa, niende pale Kawa West nieke restaurant, you know, alafu nitengeneze brand nyingine sijui ya nguo, sijui stylist, like I had all these dreams, and I used to get inspiration from everything. I'd see a sweet and then see this design looks so well for a shirt. I'm like, I'll do this. I see a shoe and I'm like, what if you can have ones that you can change the sole colors? So it's black and white, and then you remove the white and then you put on a yellow sole. So you have one shoe, but then you can actually have 4 different shoes. 4 different looks, exactly. Ukivalia shati ya yellow, unaweka hiyo sole ya yellow. And then unamaliza shule unaona vitu kwa ground ni different. You know, hauna capital, hauna license,
Not that
hauna,
easy.
you know,
Hakuna pocket money anymore.
hadi hauna discipline, you know.
Yeah, true.
Right? And then my businesses actually were out of order now. I can't sell
Pin pops
newspapers and pin pops outside. You know, hapa hivi vitu mtu akona Google anaweza download photo hundreds za Ronaldo hadi ajiprintie. You know, pin pop sasa hawezi kubali nikuzia hadi 30 bob ama 50 bob, you know. So but I learned a lesson that you as a business person you always have to reinvent. Sometimes your business can be taken out in a minute. Probably you are importing some rare jewels from Russia na sasa hivi wamefanyiwa sanctions na sasa biashara kuimisha you've been doing that business for 20 years. So you just learn that as a business person or as a person, it's about who you become and who you are. That is your purpose. Because at any time, you'll always, as long as you've learned the lessons and you've grown to be a better person, you can always do something else because you have the skills of marketing, of communication, of leadership, of identifying opportunities and going after them and taking the risk. Yeah, so joining university, now let me now tap into the investments. I was trying to look for a product to sell, but I was also, and I went to a church event, and this guy came in and told us, you know, guys, you guys think you're cool, but the guys who read are cool. You know, don't buy your girlfriend a flower, buy her a book. And I'm like, man, leaders are readers. I'm like, man, this guy has motivated me. Buy a sana. I have to start reading, you know. And I took this motivational book, which was so boring. Nikangana nayo for 3 months. Kitabu kadogo. That's how much I hated reading. Sikumbuki, but it was a Kenyan one, but it was so boring. Then I got the second book.
So boring.
You can imagine a small book we saw in 3 months. It was actually 1 page a day. That was a discipline. I said 1 page a day. And so on Monday nilikuwa
so that were you an avid reader?
No.
Okay.
Nilikuwa soma tu Guinness Book of Records na maliza ma photos. You know, the biggest pizza in the world, you know, strongest person in the world, strongest man in the world, and happiest country in the world. And which is Finland, by the way. That's something for the viewers to know, and an extra bite to make it more interesting. And what actually happened was that I got this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was in our shelf at home. And now that was the next book, because I promised myself that I was going to read 1 page a day.
And you kept that promise.
So you see what I used to do with the motivational book, I'd read 7 pages on Monday. Nasema nishasoma ya wiki. Nishasoma ya wiki hapo. That was a plan. And by the way, discipline will take you everywhere. Start small, consistent actions.
Yeah.
So you read 1 page a day, that's 365 pages a year.
Yeah.
But if you read 10 pages a day, that is 3,650 pages a year. That's like 10 books.
Yeah.
So what happened was that I got this book, Richard Poor Dad, and I was like, let me just go through it. And then I found myself, instead of doing 7 pages, I would like do 24 pages. And I'm like, nishasoma za wiki tatu. You know? And I'm like, no, I want to continue.
It was more interesting.
Yeah, on Saturday, like there was this time, nilikuwa naenda na watch TV. And then I'm like, hey, Banze, I just need to go back and continue that book. And then one day I just did 50 pages. And I was like, man, I'm passionate about this thing. Like, and I think for people who read, you'll enjoy reading when you find what you love.
Yeah.
You connect with what sets your soul on fire. I saw Richard Poor Dad. There's this chapter called The Rich Invent Money. And like, I was just mind blown. Seeing, hearing Warren Buffett, he's the best investor. This is how they nini. In investment, being the Indian giver.
By this time, you were what age?
By this time, I was 18. I was about to turn 18.
Okay.
And like, I was reading and I was just like, what? Crazy. So followed up with the next book, Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. It was a big book. I started reading Bill Gates' book and talking about his life, actually biographies. And at a point on a Saturday I read 100 pages in one day, and I'm like, Kwisha maneno, nishafika.
Yeah.
And I was in love with books, and I think books have really been a key part of me, especially entering into investment, because I found my joy in those books and seeing this actually makes sense. You know, sometimes they say do many things so that when you see what gives you that fire and that passion, you know you've gotten there.
Gotten it.
So I started reading about it. I got Warren Buffett's book, and I was just reading about his life, starting investing when he was 14, trying to do business, ping pong machine, and blah blah blah, and how he started, how he became a millionaire, investing for people, learning from Ben Graham, who wrote The Intelligent Investor. He was his professor and also an investor, and he ended up employing Warren Buffett again, and seeing how he grew and seeing how he created capital and built up. And I was just like, man, I want to be the Warren Buffett of Kenya.
Good.
I'm like, he's 14, I'm 17. 20 kazi, I'm only 3 years behind. You know? True. Yeah, and basically, I started just following what he was saying. You know, how to analyze companies, trying to get a company's annual reports, and trying to see, okay, this is what he says is a good business. So even up to today, I just follow his principles and trying to connect them. And by the end of that year, that was 2018, we have a chama of family friends who started saving, I think, from 2016. Okay. We had a bunch of money, and we said, I told them, guys, bana, we need to invest. And they said, okay, what do we buy? I told them, I've looked at Safaricom, I've looked at the financials. You know, Safaricom is just a wonderful company. And I told them, guys, let's put everything there. And then I also had some coins, you know, the way unasamanga 20 bob inside ya kununua big gin and just put them in nini. So we had saved up to 2,500 in 2018, and also my brother had about 2,300. So he just topped up. He topped up 300, he topped up 100 bob, and we were able to buy each of us 100 Centum shares. Centum.
At what price did you buy?
At 26 cents, 100, 2,600. Yes. And because for me, I was like, man, I love DJ CK, Chris Kirubi.
Yeah.
Manze, you know, you have to give him his flowers.
The late one.
Yeah, the late
CK.
Yeah, and that's how we bought shares for the first time. And in December 2018, and in 3 months, that was March 2019, Safaricom had gone up 42%, Centum 9%, and they had given us dividends. I was like, man, just moved money from this bank account to this account for the investment, and it has grown this way.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, they usually say, I'm reading a book called The Alchemist.
Yeah.
There's that beginner's luck. When you enter into something and your treasure is there, God will make you succeed at first, so you have more passion to enter into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
And so
We also
like
have that experience.
you've had that experience. Probably side for
Trading
you
too, yeah.
succeed, and then you're like, man, I want to do
This is what I
Fail
want.
time.
You know, you're like, perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So it connected. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I can be reading, working, nini, but my money is working for me. And yeah, that's how the journey started on investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And The Alchemist, how is it? You like it?
I love it. Shout out to my brother Ian, who actually gave me the book. Started reading it on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just 2 days ago, and I'm really
Yeah.
enjoying it.
I like it because I think I've not read it this year, but my goal is to read it every year. Ken is the one who introduced me to it.
Seriously, every year.
Yes, it's a short book. You're just like,
Very true.
because it's just to remind yourself what you're saying, that journey. Then the whole of it is just interesting. His journey looking for the alchemist, all that. It's very interesting. So it's a good stuff. So just one question before Ken continues on the process of buying the stocks. Was it a process? Was it a hard?
Well, how did you go about that?
Those-
That's a good question.
Very simple. You just
Yeah.
need to open an account with an investment bank.
Which one did you choose?
For me, I chose African Investment Bank, AIB Capital.
Okay.
Sasa inafanyia marketing. Nitawaambia ni sponsor.
Itabidi.
So I just, my dad told me, open this one, I actually have my account there. You just went to town, you know, you have your KRA PIN, your ID, bank account details. You just go open
Just
an
that.
account. In one day, the next day I had my nini. The next day they had my account. I told them I also want to buy for myself, so they gave me password details, and I could
Yeah.
buy from my laptop or my phone. It's that simple.
Okay.
Every bank has an investment arm, and then the others like Standard Investment Bank, Kestrel Capital. They're about the licensed ones. If you want to see a licensed one, just go to CMA website, Capital Markets Authority, and see their licensed investment banks. And then you can go to the NSE website, and if you want to do online to buy for yourself, you can actually open with those that have an online arm. So you're basically buying through their platform.
Like
So it was that
AIB
simple.
offers that.
Yeah,
And
AIB, Kestrel Capital, KCB Capital, NCBA Capital, Kingdom Securities. They all have their online platforms.
And it's any amount. Starting
Yes.
capital.
What I would say, as long as you open that account, which is free to open, even with 100 bob, you can own some shares. Because with NSE, you're just required to buy a minimum of 100 shares
With the NSE.
For any company now.
for any company.
Okay.
So if Safaricom is at 35, how much do you require?
3,500.
If KPLC is at 1.5 shillings, how much do you require?
One.
Exactly. If Kuchumi is at 0.8, you need 80 bob. So any amount of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was with what we've been knowing. You need a lot of amount of money to start.
Now that's a myth.
Okay.
Yeah, people, what was among, hey, boss. Like I told my friend, I had Safaricom shares in 2019. And he's like, Clarence, how did you do it? Are you DJCK? And I'm like, boss, this Adi was about to even buy me lunch at Java. I was like, actually, this lunch you can buy for me. You can actually own
Stocks.
shares in
Stocks.
this Safaricom or something. Probably that time it was at 22.
Yeah.
You just need quite 2200.
Yeah. What is it now?
Right now, it went up to 44. Then now, because Ethiopia had war, it has gone down to about 36. Because they expanded into Ethiopia. And so now there's war there. But then now, Imeisha, now they should reconcile, so it's bound to go up further. So for guys who want to invest into Safaricom, this is a great time to buy.
So is this something you normally look at when you're doing your investments? Like they're expanding here, over here, it's being affected like that. To look into all that.
It is very important.
Because I think part of the questions is part, I think, with Ken, I'd said your investment approach.
Yes, you see, a business, everyone who's in the market is an investor, and they're trying to look at, we want to be in a profitable business. And so if Safaricom is expanding to Ethiopia and they paid 80 billion for their license to operate there. Yeah.
That's billion Kenyan shillings.
Kenya shillings.
80
80 billion. 80.
80
That's about
billion.
80 million shillings.
80 billion shillings.
So that's
You're trying to put it in dollars.
yeah, $80
That's
million.
$800 million
Ooh.
to get a license to operate in Ethiopia.
Just
a
license.
Yeah, that's a license.
Not even set up base, office, nothing.
That money they'll recoup in 3 years. Because
Why is that license that expensive? That's a
Why will
lot.
they recoup in 3 years?
Ethiopia has a population of 110 million people.
110.
That is
Yeah.
two
Ethiopia?
times. That is 2 times Kenya.
Ethiopia is
Didn't
that
even
big.
know.
Also, I
Ethiopia is
didn't know
that
that.
Ethiopia has a
110
it
million
has
people.
They even have a bigger GDP than Kenya.
actually Ethiopia,
That one I would be surprised, but
Ethiopia
people
is has the second largest population in Africa.
after Nigeria.
Nigeria.
I think so, yeah. So you have 110 million people. And so their network, if I can say, the telecommunication network has been safeguarded by Ethiopia. Like they don't
Government.
allow other countries.
Okay.
So when they're allowed, countries are making bids because they just know for sure that you'll make big business from there.
Okay.
Selling credit, doing M-Pesa, you know. So it's like, and a government just can't allow a company to come and
Yeah,
take
for sure.
money. So they had the highest bid, and they did it as a consortium. Japan, Huawei, and Safaricom to get the license.
Okay.
So they're actually going to invest 10 times, but
What they have
in the
put in
next
Kenya.
5 years,
10 times what? What do you
the
mean?
license.
What's
They're going to
the amount
invest
they got for
about
the license?
800 billion in Ethiopia over the next 5 to 10 years.
And they're planning to venture into just the arms that they have, Wi-Fi, whatever,
Yeah,
M-Pesa.
so, yeah, because it's 2 times the population. Basically, they'll grow their customers by twice.
Yeah, true.
And you can see Safaricom's market value is about 1.5 trillion.
About
At a
$15
point
billion.
it was about- Yeah. So you see, 80 billion. I've tried to show you the reasoning behind, because they can be making 30 billion year on year in profits from Ethiopia. So in 3 years, they've recouped
Everything,
that money,
yeah.
if with the inflation adjusted and everything. So there was war in Ethiopia, and that means even some employees were being evacuated from Ethiopia. You see, so that
The
affects
wars
business.
between which- What and what was happening there?
It was
You guys, bana, you need to update yourself with.
We're really
Tuna focus on New York sana.
Ukraine war, Russia. Those ones will tell you.
You know one thing I usually say, I love being a Kenyan, but I feel like, hey, Kenya, tuko katikati tu ya mashida.
Yeah.
Like Ethiopia wana fight South Sudan, mara sijui this. Somalia. Ay, bana. Props to Matiang'i kutushikilia tujakuwa attacked in any time. Actually, I was listening to Tuju on Citizen some while back, and you're saying, for us, our election violence in 2007, if you look at, compared to other countries, it was only 1,500 people that died. But you see, like, there have been world wars in Europe, America, they've lost hundreds of thousands of people, all these areas of war. Rwanda has had genocide,
Uganda.
South Sudan has had big wars, Somalia has never been in it. So we've really tried as a country.
Yeah.
We've really tried.
Maintain peace,
Actually, Kenyans are very peaceful. You know, but sometimes you're like, hey, bana, we are like, you're like election violence. It was recent. It's so bad. But looking at it,
Comparing it to other
we've really
countries.
tried.
Actually, yeah.
Basically, even we are better
Makes
than
sense.
Europe. The Europeans, because they are fighting even at the moment. You know?
Yeah.
They go to many wars.
Afghanistan, all
Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Syria, you know? So, so basically, it really matters, because if there's war there, it means that the area is inhabitable for business.
Yeah.
True.
And the value has shot up because the value had shot up before because they're going to Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Actually, their theme was, let's go beyond, to Kiuke.
Yeah.
Let's go beyond. Basically, they're saying we are expanding
Okay.
from Kenya. M-Pesa is going global.
yeah.
So it's always good to check, because if a company, if right now Equity tells you that they're opening 10 branches in different countries, what does that mean?
They're expanding their business,
And
revenues
Revenues will go up.
everything. Yeah.
And so as a shareholder, I'll have
More
more
shares.
value. And basically more profits, more dividends for me.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, what do you look at? What are the points? Like just 5 of them. If you're looking for a company, Safaricom, this is what I'm looking at. Let's say it's revenue, year in, year out. Who's managing the company, CEO.
Exactly.
For you, what are you looking for?
I make choices based on a 6-part criteria. But
Okay.
what you're asking is characteristics of a wonderful company. I would say we use Warren Buffett and Kingfisher's
Approach.
18-point plan. And basically, there are a number of questions that it's like a check guide. Very simple. The first 4 are about sales. A business is about sales. You know, you can make the best, my friend can make the best chicken, sweeter than KFC. Yeah, but KFC can sell. KFC has known how to distribute, has this distribution, and it's a brand.
True.
You know, and so business is about sales, and so the first 4 are about sales. Does the company have a product that will, for the future, basically make more business? There's no point of me buying a book company right now, a company that is selling books. So books are becoming outdated, and now we are doing social PDFs and stuff
E-books.
and stuff, you know. So probably a company that is in book publishing, probably they are becoming more outdated.
Yeah.
As opposed to a company that is in technology,
Yeah,
which is now becoming more necessary, right? So, and are they continue to develop products and processes that will increase sales? And then you'll see iPhone always making a new phone, making new trackers and AirPods, and now they're selling
Innovation.
chargers.
Tuzi ya charger.
You know, bana,
Separate.
bana, nyinyi watu wa iPhone, mnateseka bana.
Join us, bro.
Kwa Samsung.
It's not that bad as it seems.
And then you'll see even Safaricom, they want to venture into different businesses.
Yeah.
Akina Equity, even though they're making new products, they're entering into insurance, they're entering into this and this, but then they're also expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
See, you're expanding. So you're doing things that will actually increase revenue for you.
Yeah.
That's another thing. The next, after sales, now you look at profitability margins. So that is financial analysis. You look at liquidity, efficiency, debt, which is leverage, which is very key. Nakumatt was a very great brand, very good profit, but high debt.
Is that part of what brought them down?
Yes.
Okay.
Too
Debt.
much leverage.
They're trying to expand business.
Yeah.
Perfect business. It's a great brand. It's not that like they're paying these companies to put their products. Actually, those companies are paying them for the
Yeah.
shelf space. So there's no, if your product is not selling, they'll just give it back to you and bring in another person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're in a position to know. As you continue, you'll continue.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, they tried to expand too fast, meaning they went for too much debt. Yeah. Is there any different approach with what I'm saying with QuickMart? Because I'm saying those guys expanding very fast. Do you have any knowledge on that?
What QuickMart did is they didn't take debt. They
What
sold
did they do?
equity.
Oh,
They brought in. If you
that's
check the news
venture.
last year, they
Okay.
got 20 billion invested into.
The
Wait, that was Naivas. Naivas got 20 billion invested into them.
And they sold a stake of the
Yeah,
business.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. For QuickMart, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, but Naivas,
Yeah.
Naivas,
So
that's what they did. Okay.
There are two ways you can raise money. You can either take a loan
Or venture.
or you
share.
can sell your
Sell your
shares.
share.
So I saw Nakumatt, Naivas did
Naivas.
that. That is very good for them.
Yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
yeah, they brought in an investor. So it means that they're sharing profits and also losses.
I think
and
also
risks.
QuickMart did the same by the
Yeah.
They sold a stake of their business. They didn't take on debt.
So you
Sold a
also,
stake.
apart from that, you check cash flow. You also check the management. Check if you can check. You check are the employees happy. Labor relations.
How do you check that?
How do you check
Employees
that?
are happy.
Go to Google News and search Nini. Go to sites like Glassdoor and check Nini. If you have an anti-Sami, ask them, what do you think about these companies? Even there are even FKE awards, Federation of Kenya Employers Awards, best employers. So there's always these things. And social media is basically a tool that has given us everything. If
Yeah,
people are not unhappy, you'll find reports written about this company. I don't want to mention any companies, but
Yeah.
just find reports written. They're unhappy, the salary cuts were made, their management of a place. And you see, management is very key, especially the executive relations. Like Steve Jobs just joining Apple back, the stock market roared. And when he left, it went down.
Yeah.
So just having that talent and very key. And also checking if there's any unique factor that can make this business very successful.
Yeah.
Either it is a monopoly, either it has great brand, either it is like Elon
Market
Musk.
size.
Yeah, market size. Like Elon Musk guys realized this guy is selling cars, but more than that, he's actually selling the technology behind it.
Yeah.
Because if Toyota is selling 1 billion cars and Musk sells 1 billion cars, they made, let's say, 10 billion each. And this guy, since he's giving you free charge, he's charging you $50 per month instead of, since you wouldn't be paying that for fuel, for you to have the self-driving, the cars reopening themselves, changing colors. And so they realized basically he sold you 1 billion cars, but he's getting cash flow, $50 from each car.
Yeah.
That is per month. That is 50 billion coming back to him. And that's what made him move from 30 billion to 300 billion, because there was something unique. He was actually selling the data or technology.
Yeah.
And then also looking at integrity of the company and the long-term projections. And even I've seen with Africa, just looking at the political climate is very key.
Yeah.
That's anywhere, not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Africa.
Lazima,
Especially
lazima.
Africa.
That's it.
Especially.
Okay, let's.
Yeah.
So that's your investment philosophy. What you're looking at.
That is, if you're looking for a company, a successful company, those are the checklists. And Kingfisher says if it has passed 11, they're 15.
Yeah.
If you have more than 10,
You're done.
it's a great company. It's a great growth stock.
Okay.
That's what
And
I usually
what is your approach to risk? Because after you've selected,
Yeah.
like in FOREX, if you just use an example in FOREX, after I've done my checklist, I must still come back and say, okay, I have 10 million. How much am I willing to risk on this position? You get? So for you now, what's your approach to risk? Like, how do you think about risk when you're going into a position?
For me, I believe when it comes to shares or when it comes to owning, if you do your due diligence,
Yeah.
if you understand this company, the risk is very little. When Buffett says there's no risk when you understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you know this company, you've seen their projections, you looked at their profits, and you're like, even if the markets go down kidogo, if I'm holding it
Long
over
term.
time,
Yeah.
they'll just go up based
Okay.
on the value of the company.
So your philosophy is also long-term investments. Like
Yeah.
Sometimes.
you're holding stocks for long.
Sometimes.
Like you still have your Safaricom stock from 2018.
Yes, but we sold some and then we bought again during the pandemic. More during
You
the
bought at
pandemic.
24 something during
22.
the pandemic. Yeah. Just
20,
checking that.
pandemic about 24, 25.
Yeah.
If you add in the transaction fees. But I would say my approach to risk is basically after learning about, basically I studied investment management in SIU, did a lot of books.
Was it very helpful, the course?
Very helpful. I've basically taken the last 4 years deep diving into investment.
Okay.
So just understanding, when you understand things very well, you're able to understand the risk. Then you also understand that diversification basically eliminates all the risk.
Yeah.
And the diversification is key.
It eliminates all the risk. And so when I know I have strong shares here, I have money in a circle, and now I can be able to buy cryptocurrency, which is a bit risky, but I just know when cryptocurrency is, when shares are down, cryptocurrency is up, the risk is always eliminated. When cryptocurrency is down, shares are up, you've balanced. So at any point something is doing well, you can always sell off and you can always hold. So I think with risk, I would say, for me, I look at things from understanding it very well, especially when it comes to stocks. When you understand a strong business, like you buying Safaricom right now, it's not risky.
Yeah.
They've maintained profits.
Is Safaricom your best?
It looks like his best.
You know, the one is the simplest one. My favorite is actually equity.
Equity.
If you checked the news, Google News yesterday,
Yeah.
they grew their profits 99%.
Yeah, I saw it.
99%.
99%.
Whoa.
They doubled the profits from
What?
last year.
From last year?
By expanding
it
to
was
these
by-
other countries.
Yeah, in Congo, now they're
Exactly.
becoming the biggest bank there. And
Yeah,
Congo.
I think I've heard of that.
they have Equitel, so they'll do what M-Pesa is doing here.
Oh.
And there they don't have competition. It's restricted.
Okay.
And so even when
The
Uhuru
shares shot
went
what
to-
percentage after that news?
I haven't checked
Okay.
because he just announced yesterday. I haven't checked the. You know what?
It's
I
open
don't usually
today.
wake up and check prices all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just buy and just buy
Hold.
strong companies that have a great growth potential and have great management. We just go ahead and become a swimmer or become a doctor.
When you're checking the prices, there's a platform you use. Which platform?
Africa kwa easy.
Pardon?
Africa kwa easy.
Okay.
Africa kwa easy.
Yes.
I've never heard of
You'll
that.
give us
It
the
also has
details.
graphs.
That
And
We'll
also
put a link.
NSE website, Nairobi Securities Exchange website. You can check the prices.
Okay.
Okay. Before we move into the next question, the previous question you asked was on your like how you make decisions. Like for us in trading, and if you are trying to invest in stocks in the US, there's some sophisticated data. Like there's something called wisdom, whereby companies file their report, like their annual reports every year. So in Kenya, like where can you get all this data? Maybe in one place
That's
or on
very good question.
let's say things like the financial you're saying, the revenues, profits, ownership
Statement.
of the company, the management. You can even know literally right now. Let's say Berkshire. You can go and see the top management people in Berkshire, how much they are owning on of the company and stuff. But in Kenya, I feel like, okay, maybe I've not done that research, or maybe I don't know, but maybe you can help us know, like,
Where you can get
I
this
get
data.
The NSE website has public, I think, announcements and everything. And also, if you just want to get Safaricom's annual reports, just search, or let me not use Safaricom. You want to get, for example, let's use Kakuzi, it's an agricultural company,
Yeah.
or let's use KCB Bank. Just search KCB Bank annual reports. Even in their website, they have 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 1999. They're all there.
Yeah.
As long as you're a publicly listed company in any country in the world, you always have to announce. The same way Berkshire is. You can actually get Tatas in India and see their financials. You can get Everready. So just going online and searching.
But there's no central.
The
Place.
NSE website.
The NSE
website has a lot of data because that's the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
How reliable is it?
Very, very reliable.
I'll get data across. This is a business, guys. We're giving you a business idea.
Yeah.
I'll get data across, like, like the one he's saying. If you want to see data, let's say for Berkshire for the last 30 years, it's at one place. It's well compiled. So you don't have to because I've tried. There was one I was trying to look at called My Stocks. It's not the NSE, but there's another one called My Stocks. You know it? Yeah. So there, you don't really, navigating that app is hard. Because I believe I'm a bit sophisticated in understanding research, but it was still hard for me to get the data.
Complicated.
Yeah. Now imagine someone who's never done that before. It's a bit fishy. So I don't know. We'll check out the NSE one to see.
Yes.
But if there is none, that's
NSE,
a business.
And also, that's a business.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And
It's
also, all companies have websites.
Yeah.
And they post. They have to post. Those
Okay.
CVs. So
Because you see now the good thing
when you
is
get the annual report, you can get everything you say. The financials, everything we talk about in our boot camps, the financials, how to analyze them, ratios to use, the management. You can even see the amount the Msmongi of equity was paid. You see the entire board.
all on that
It's
statement.
all there. Unananga mwalimu nasikia wewe usikii James Wangi alilipongwa 10 billion, but then you go there and you see actually he was paid 350 M.
Stories za jaba.
Bana. Stories za taras. So they're all there. And I love that.
So it's basically just do your deep research.
And actually it's very simple.
Yeah.
I think one thing tutakwama tunaona ni kama Kenya ni kama vitu zimeficha or something. But ukinusia tu hapa tu kidogo
utaziona.
But I'd like to see them in one place.
Because I feel like
one place
even if you charge me
concentrated.
$10, but you've concentrated them at one place,
I can get everything here without
pay
going to Safaricom, then Equity. I'm opening different tabs all in one place.
Amazing.
Even if you just look like
I found a business.
even if you look at something like Bloomberg, Bloomberg is a newsroom that is purely focused on markets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ona. In Kenya sasa saizi either nisikie tu business in the morning huko KTN ama sasa zile za after news kuna na sector stocks hapo na you see like there is no like a company that has gone deep into let's say now this NSE investing money markets, you see bonds and stuff.
There's this company called Hisa.
Yeah, I know Hisa.
I think Hisa naona wamejaribu. Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
app.
but Hisa like I also have
Wamejaribu kidogo.
an account with them, but it's only for US stocks also. It allows you to buy US stocks.
US
only.
stocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
serious.
Yeah, there's no Kenyan.
It's a
stocks.
Kenyan app.
Yeah, but they told me they are working on bringing Kenyan stocks.
Kenyan stocks.
Yeah.
I saw they partnered with FIDA, and so guys can actually even buy Kenyan stocks at the moment. But also it has I usually see updates.
Yeah.
Shop, CBK wants to reduce the fees.
They're doing a really
So it's a great area for guys to get information.
Okay. And in terms of investing, when it comes to trading, we use something called leverage. There's high leverage. You can leverage your account, meaning if I have 100,000 Kenya shilling, I can leverage it to buy things worth 10 million. So I'm borrowing money to make a bigger investment so that I can reap a bigger reward with my small amount of money. Is that applicable in Kenyan stocks when you buy? Is there leverage? Do they offer leverage?
That one is, I think, there in FX markets.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're buying shares, you're buying a piece of a business. Probably you can take a loan or borrow against your stock, but there's no leverage for that.
And you can't short sell also.
Yeah, by the way, can you sell? Can you short sell and make money when the market is going down?
Not really.
Yes, there are things called derivatives.
Okay.
They were announced 2019. Now for the traders, you can utilize that.
Yeah.
But it was a bit expensive. I think minimum was 2M or something. But then in 2021, they opened it up kabisa fully. And now anyone can do the derivatives. And it's being offered by EGM Securities and a number of brokers. I think EGM Securities is the one that is offering.
Okay.
So in EGM, you can do derivatives. You can short sell Kenyan stocks.
Okay.
Have you tried it yourself?
It's
Have
the
you done it?
elections come.
Bado hajafika hapo. Mimi FOREX
speculation.
I would rather put my money
market.
with you guys who you're there full time and
Yeah,
you do your
yeah,
thing. I had a personal family experience that wasn't very nice.
Okay.
Forex. Kitambo 2014.
They tried.
Hadi hiyo time hadi watu wako wanajua forex kama siku hizi.
Yeah, it was new. It wasn't yet regulated at that time.
Okay.
And in terms of what Darius was asking, there's a question you asked that was going to follow up. What was your previous question? the my stocks, when you mentioned about investing, that app you can buy stocks abroad. Do you do investments for abroad stocks? Do you look into that?
I have
Berkshire, have you bought
I've
Berkshire?
bought one foreign stock.
One.
One.
Which one?
Google.
Why?
And because I just love YouTube and I love how Google is, because you really spend a lot of time there.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Almost every day.
Gmail, Mara, Google Meet, like
YouTube.
they're very
And there's this philosophy, when you want to buy a stock, just buy things you use.
true. But Kabisa, buy
yeah.
things that most people use, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, what I did as Clarence Muhoro, started investing in late 2018. And I think for me, I've had a very focused approach towards things. Like, I've invested in money back life insurance. Basically, nikikufa sahi nikufa kama nimeomoka. In case I don't die.
Nani tuomoka wewe ama
In case
family?
of sa family nimeomoka. In case I don't die in 15 years,
Yeah.
they gave me back money with a lot of interest accumulated. Perfect.
What's the rate?
Probably 11% compounded year on year, which basically means your money can double and it actually reduces your tax.
Okay.
It does.
Basically, the most important thing is that you're protecting against your life. And if I'm hit here, rungu and I can't speak anymore, like, and that was how I used to earn. I get a huge lump sum. So basically, investment is also a way, guys, to actually protect and actually protect against loss of things.
Oh, serious?
For example, let's say I'm Clarence Muhoro and then I have a junior called Ken.
Muhoro Junior. Okay.
I have a son called Ken,
Yeah.
and he's going to JKUAT miaka 5, lakini wasemanga watu wasemangi huko, but he's going there for 5 years and I'm afraid, what if I die? Basically, you can take a term life insurance cover for 5 years, so that, and you're making payments, probably it's 5K per month or 3K or 2K per month, and in case I die, this guy school fees yake italipwa
Yote.
hadi amalize university.
I like that. You're really forward thinking, yeah?
You know, it's very wise. It's very wise.
It's
very wise.
Because many people won't think about. Do you train that when you're
Yeah, we
in
train
your
that.
trainings?
Because
that's really good.
Yeah, it's very impactful, and I see the sense behind it.
Yeah,
A lot
it
of
makes full sense. Yeah.
You don't want invest forex 3 years alafu upate ugonjwa serious, then you have now to all your gains sasa unazilipa kwa nini. You want to take insurance product that will protect you against that, and in case you don't get ill after 15 years, they give you back your money, or based on the timeline you've taken. And it's very, very key. So basically, you're protecting against a time, but then you're also investing.
Yeah.
And you can take a loan against your life insurance cover. Basically,
So
if
money.
you read about Walt Disney,
Yeah.
he went to all banks and he didn't get a loan. So he took a loan against his life insurance cover.
And they gave him.
to invest in Disney. So it's great. Like,
Is that-
investment is very sophisticated.
Yeah, but it's
And
interesting.
It's very
That is
simple.
nice.
Yeah.
Also, there are many things we don't know about, and we
Yeah.
can really.
The nitty-gritty.
You know, someone is like me. I hate risk. I hate any.
Yeah.
There's an investment product for you.
For
In a
everyone.
SACCO or in
Yeah, exactly.
insurance. If you're high risk, high return, do forex. And if you want high returns and low risk, buy strong, wonderful companies. And you can have both.
Yeah. Can have a combination of both.
Can have a
So
combination
what
of
mistakes do you see people make when they're making decisions on how to invest, or rather even not? I think failing to invest is the first mistake that I would say people make.
Exactly.
Not taking any risk.
Not taking any risk
Is the biggest risk.
That's the biggest risk.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take any risk, obviously you're putting yourself in a position where you
You
can't
don't
have any
gain
return.
anything. Yeah.
So I always say, if you eliminate risk, you eliminate return.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you take some risk now, you can have some
Return.
That's
So
very true.
which other mistakes do you see people make when they're making the investment decision now?
Last year, I had the opportunity to move around very many areas talking about investment. And someone telling me I lost money in a SACCO, Ekeza SACCO, I lost money in bought KQ Zikashuka. Then she was like, I was told to buy this. You know? You're told, hey, bununua KQ.
Okay.
They're about to do something, and then you buy, and then ukasahau ukaenda kwa shughuli zako, it was a short term buy, and then wewe umekaa nayo miaka 2 na imeshuka 60%. you know?
70.
So I think number one is that people don't educate themselves. Number one, like, you need to educate
Very
yourselves.
important.
Usiseme ati school didn't teach us. Teach yourself. You know, learn. There are many programs, forex training, investment training, very many areas. You can self-learn through books. But just educate yourself, number one. That's a mistake people do. Like, they enter without educating themselves.
Yeah.
Like, just need to understand how things are so you can make informed decisions. And when you understand things, there's little risk, or you just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So number one, you need to educate yourself. That's one mistake people do make. Number two is that people are not patient in the process. Like, you know, you buy today and you're like, hey, bana, you should 5%, bana. Hey, bana, me, I can't fathom, you know, and you just have to have patience. And basically, when you do things from an understanding, you know the importance of time. So you have to have patience. I would say you need to do a lot of self-awareness, basically to know the level of risk you want, the level of returns you want, your goals. If you invest from that point, called investing in purpose, you can always succeed in your investment journeys. And sometimes someone is like, I want to make money, but then you realize that you also have a lot of anxiety, and then you go into Forex, and usiku imeshuka 30% and you're like, mtu hadi anapata tu pressure, you know. Probably a better way would be taking on a less risky investment, you know. So just understanding yourself. Sometimes people jump into things without understanding themselves, and also without understanding. And another one, especially young people, oh my goodness. Actually, one of the people who used to work with me in Young Investors, you know, she told me, hey, Clarence, I'm doing Forex. I've found a Forex mentor. Are you sure? Have you done your... I've been mentored. And she took her school fees.
And she put it into
she put it there.
In the trading account.
Yes. And you see school fees, kitutangojea iko na timeline. Then after about a month, akanipigia, she was crying. And akaniambia do your school fees sasa, you know. And they had to chip in. But now, you know...
Serious?
Yeah. But aliweza kuraise na akaenda shule. But it just showed me the power of... Now we can laugh about it, you know. But
back then it wasn't a laughing matter.
Don't invest with your school fees, or don't invest with your rent. You know,
don't invest money you're not willing to lose.
Yes, and you want to invest in shares, yes, but you want your money back in 3 weeks, and probably by the time 3 weeks is coming, probably there's something that has happened, and the markets haven't performed to expectation. So just make investment. For me, usually say you only make a loss or a profit when you sell. I can have shares right now, zipande 500%, but I haven't made a profit until I sell.
It's only when it's in the bank account.
Yeah, it's only until you sell. It can go down 40%, and I'm still very confident. I'm like, it's okay. This company has performed well. The market is just low because of COVID. You know,
external factors.
Things come, the company is actually growing. The value is growing. So I think that's another mistake people do. So guys, educate yourself, invest with money that you've set aside to invest, even as little as possible. Focus on understanding yourself and what is best for you, and invest with purpose, I would say.
And the viewers, I think now they're wondering, now Clarence, everything he touches turns to gold. Is that true?
Tell us about some of your losses.
How about you? Because like your friend lost alijaribu kuna mali maybe you lost discipline. Is there for yourself a mistake you made and ended up losing money?
God's favorite. I'm God's favorite, but I've actually lost money in a number of different ways. When I say investing, I've also invested in friends' businesses, actual businesses. And one was my best decision to invest and gives me monthly income as an investor. Because you understand a business fully. That is also investing. Investing
That's true.
In the Traders Show and kila mwezi na tumeoka 6K ama 12K, you know? But I've lost money. Number one, biggest amount I lost was we did mining mahali kwanza ya cryptocurrency Bitcoin mining HEPA did that in 2018.
Was this Bitclub?
Money exactly.
Okay.
IDCS alikuwa hapo sema ametengeneza pesa akitengeneza ile blockchain the blockchain delegation or something committee. Yes, I actually talked about
this guy Joe Musheru.
But I don't nienda amesema sio mimi. So many people are there. It was so well orchestrated that it was a global loss, you know? You know, put money in 2018, I thought I'd be a millionaire by 2020. Nikona hii kitu haipandi. So my friend, hey boss, I want to sell and get my money and buy stocks are doing way better. Hey, going to withdraw, website is down. Google nasikia the guy is being looked for in America.
The founder.
So we lost money there. I didn't even make a shilling back of what. Everything 100% loss. But then when you're young is when you learn these things early. And so I learned, Clarence, you need to do, if you could have used that money to buy Bitcoin and keep it for ourselves in our own personal wallet.
Because that's what
Yeah.
you did.
So
You also
yeah.
invited for it.
Sahi
That's the same approach we
tunafanya
did.
video call from Dubai.
What Ken is saying,
Eh.
we got a friend invited us, all that, but we're like,
This mining thing, no?
because at least us, we had some background already in forex and investments. So when the friend brought us, and so we're like, what's the point of going all this way through mining, which the goal is to get the cryptocurrency? So we're like, there's online brokers, exchanges for cryptos. Let's just go direct, get the coins, and we make money from that instead of being promised this. It was, if you had some background into some investment, you could have known there's some things that are not really adding up. And we've seen this with a lot of other things that came up. I don't know if you've had crowd one, live auction.
Live auction. All
Did you
these
hear
things.
those? Did you hear those when they came?
Hizo nimezisikia hizo ma LMM.
Yeah.
Exactly.
MLM.
MLM.
But Beat Club was done in such a strategic way. But basically speaking, I actually went with my dad. My dad is very good. We tulisikiza, it can make sense. You know, that time we didn't have these trusted
Ulienda
sites
wapi? Westlands?
Binance.
Kendrail.
Kendrail.
Okay.
We didn't have
We all went to there.
Coinbase and Binance. There's
Yeah.
Kinda legit.
Yeah.
and
That time I
very
think there was
strong.
only local Bitcoin.
Yeah,
which was-
so like it was like it really made sense to a point, and like tulikuwa tunaangalia tuna assess, unaona tu like the sense, unaona hizo videos wako umeenda due to each country they have the miners and how a miner should actually create more value for you.
Okay.
It made business sense. It was a perfectly orchestrated con, I would say. That was my biggest mistake. Another one, I would say probably 2020 bought in a company that I didn't assess how much COVID would affect them.
Okay.
And so
But you never
a
knew
bit
COVID
of a
was
loss.
coming, right?
Like I bought it during COVID.
Okay.
And so I didn't assess how much that sector would be affected, especially that's the real estate sector.
Okay.
And so it may go a bit of a slump, but I'm not selling. It's a long-term buy, so it's not a mistake, actually.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could have deployed the funds elsewhere and made a better return. Apart from that, I've lost, invest in your friend's business, una trust youth mwenzako. Mkenya na pesa. Unapigia mtu unamtafuta hampati,
Yeah.
So like that hadi at a point like bana nilikuwa namtumia demand letter kutoka lawyer. Bana tutaenda court, tutapelekana court na wewe. So, but that was a mistake. Basically I made gains from that, but it was a long process. Like a 9-month process.
Yeah.
2021 from February to December, just following up on someone.
Okay.
Like unaweza kuwa sasa nikikupatia less than 100,000 alafu unashinda ukinitumia 2k. Unajua?
So say daily living by 2050.
Hadi unashanga hii pesa unachukua unanunua tu fuel. Unalipia fuel. It's like
It doesn't even add
alafu it's
value.
just inasumbua tu akili.
Yeah.
So and also one thing I learned, and one I would say it's not an investment mistake, but it's a money mistake. Hey, don't lend your friends money. I think there's Mshwari, Tala, Fuliza.
Wapate huko.
That's where you need to go. Because last year, I think friends sometimes take advantage.
Yeah.
And so I learned, even with money, you give what you feel free. Kama mtu anataka kumbatia 10k, umwambie boss, sina hiyo, acha nikutumie 500. Hata usiporudisha ni sawa.
Your check.
Wewe tu wewe jisaidie. Kuna Tala, Fuliza. So I learned, don't lend money. Don't lend money. You'd rather I've learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mix friendship and business.
Don't mix friendship and business. And like, because you end up losing those friendships. So
Yeah,
someone can
business
respect your money. You even feel like, sasa, umechukua pesa kutoka kwangu, sasa unataka tukuja to smile tena pamoja. And you've worked very hard for that money.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've seen the value of a shilling. And how to get it is so hard. But how to give it is so simple.
Yeah.
So like, it's usually very, mtu sikia tu hapana. There's this guy this life is so funny. This guy we were in a group, and then someone needed some work to be done, so I referred to guys, and then the guy tells me this guy is asking for money. Should I lend to him? In my personal experience, I'd say don't lend. I had this experience and actually lost a friend because he didn't pay me my money. And he's like, Clarence, let me tell you something. He started advising me, Clarence, like money, don't lose friendships because of money. Money is just something little. And I was like, okay, I've understood.
Okay, yeah.
Then after 1 month, he's telling me, hey, what's wrong with that guy? He doesn't have my money. No, he actually even sees me on his email. I'm taking you to court, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, hey, boss,
I
give me
told
advice,
you.
man. Hands off.
Yeah.
Hands off. And it's just very funny. Like, I really laughed, but I really felt for him because I think with Kenyans, and especially young people, sometimes we really want a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
But our character, not being integral, not being honest, not communicating, being late to things. It really just takes us out of business. Because, guys, business is about trust and delivery. So,
if you can't
and one thing I appreciate about these guys, like when you had a call, you're on time. Like, these guys are very organized and formal, which I really appreciate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Leo nichelewa na dakika 3, but
it was okay.
I had to drop someone somewhere.
Okay.
So as a young person, just have the integrity and the people to trust you. When people trust you, if I trust you, utapata hadi mtu anakupatia biashara kubwa sana.
Yeah,
true.
And in terms of adding to a question that's here, from what you're talking about, I think I've learned a thing or two, like what you're saying, what you've learned, mistakes you've made, mistake you see people making. And one thing that we normally teach, which I'm really big part of, is when we're doing investments, we're always looking for capital preservation, capital appreciation. But for yours, I'm also seeing you adding sort of like capital insurance, capital longevity, like you're thinking far ahead. So in all that, you structure your training. You do get to teach all this. How do you structure? How is your training?
Yes, our training is actually 2 weeks long, which is really amazing.
They're the what you call the boot camps?
Yeah, the boot camps, the investment boot camps.
Okay.
Boot camps meaning rigorous training.
Yeah.
So we start off with understanding investments. I mean, talk about my journey, talk about mistakes, lessons, investing in this business, investing in this, how it worked, blah, blah, blah. Just to show someone that I'm not teaching you from a point of not being there. Everything I teach,
you have skin in the game.
I have skin in the game. Exactly. Like you also, there's a time you had EGM as a partner come in to talk about FOREX, and it's them who talked about FOREX, not Clarence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying, hey boss, at leverage and stuff and stuff. You guys would be in a better position to teach that.
Yeah.
And so we usually have introduction to investments, the goals of the class, the purpose of the class. We show them the outline, and we start on investment simply, investment needs, importance of investing, your why and stuff. Look at shares for 4 sessions. It's majorly focused on shares. For 4 sessions, it's shares deeply in terms of looking at markets, understanding how markets work, how to buy and how to sell, analysis of a company we do it together. So like mtu anatoka hapo akikuwa pro.
Yeah, that's quite in
analysis, financial, we analyze together, we do valuation, then we look at research, market research, and show you where to buy and why you should buy. And then
And
you
when.
also have and when you should buy and when you should sell.
Yeah.
And we show them research, not from only us, but from the investment banks where we've gotten this research,
Yeah.
which we pay for. Then now the next week, now we look at cryptocurrency. Sometimes we bring in guests, talk about cryptocurrency. We look at life insurance. You look at SACCOs. It's very important for you to be part of a SACCO.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm part of Mhasibu SACCO. If I have 100K or 100K saved, let's say in 2 years or 3 years, it means that I can take a loan, as we have, we can take a loan up to 5 times.
Mine is 10.
Yours is 10?
Yeah.
Hey, fine.
It's a circle called Canvasity.
Canvasity.
Yeah.
So Mhasibu SACCO is very good, has over 7 billion in assets. You can take a loan of up to 500,000. That can mean me taking a loan and buying an Uber, and then I'm supposed to make monthly payments of 13K.
Yeah.
So if the Uber gives me about 40K per month, I'm growing my wealth.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, I think as an investor or even as a financial person, you need to, part of financial wellness is having access to capital.
Yeah.
And so we look at SACCOs, life insurance, money-back life insurance plans, and then we have this call to action where we make people commit to investing. People have accountability partners, because investment is not just intelligence, it's psychological. Like unajua unafaa kusave kutoka class 4, but sometimes you don't save, right? Ama you know that ukitreat mse hivi atasikia vibaya, but sometimes we follow our emotions very much, and that's why I usually say start with why. So we have accountability partners. People make commitment, people say which shares you're going to buy, the date, and how many shares you're going to buy, and then you keep you accountable to that.
And you follow on that.
And then you have a community. Yes. So it's very keen in getting you to invest. That's our secret. That's our sauce.
Okay.
Because we get you to invest, not just teaching you. We get you to invest and we encourage you. Not more so the sense, buy Britam or buy BOC gas or buy KPLC, but why do you need to buy KPLC? Is it in line with your goals to have financial freedom, or do you want to, just have a strategy where you're owning wonderful investments and over time increase your wealth?
Yeah.
And then we give them workbooks. We have an investment portfolio tracker where it tracks all your investments. Money in the bank, savings, kinyeko kwa mfuko. If you have goals,
Is this
if
an
you
app?
have land. No, basically it's an Excel
Okay.
Spreadsheet.
workbook that now I've personally created.
Okay.
So mimi mtu wa finance, I studied investment management. Actually, sio kuringa, but I was top student in finance.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, what happened
Stuff.
is,
Yeah.
in finance, at a point when 2020 reached, I was like, tell me number 9 hapo. There were guys who were ahead of me. And we weren't too many in finance. So it's like, sisi ati nilipita kabisa. It's like, hao ndo walikuwa wanaanguka zaidi. So it was
A good way to put it.
In 21 September, I was like, in School of Finance, Clarence Muhoro. I'm like, oh my God.
I made it.
But I think it's just the thing of when you do what you love, it will become simple to you.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm good at math, and just it flowed, really flow. And so that's what we do, and we have a happy community. We focus so much on creating, like mtu anasemanga, I've bought shares in my first shares in Coop Bank, and then people are saying, congrats.
That's a good community.
An amazing community.
Support
And
system.
Even when you're doing our tree planting, people are coming through like crazy. Someone sending you 1,000, someone sending you 500. People are coming to plant the trees with you. Like we raised 54K for that tree planting, 2 weeks
In 2
prior
weeks.
notice.
That gives you how many trees?
Yeah, we see what you did, and it's something I encourage people. Last year there was a bit of not too much sun. Hadi sahi,
Yeah.
ukinunua kamtika 50 bob uende uplant hapo inaweza kauka sana. And so when we went to the Nairobi's Ecosystem Conservatory, you are saying 1 tree is 450.
450.
Yes. And because they have indigenous trees, those really unique ones, but also they're maintaining it for 3 years plus. So basically kuna mtu anafanya uprooting, kuifanyia watering, preparing the site, they're taking care of it.
Because you just bought it at 450.
For that price.
So we bought about 75 trees. We bought 65 trees. They gave us 10 extra. Nili negotiate.
Yeah.
And then now we just know they're being maintained. They'll survive. They're unique because they plant this tree here so that if a monkey is coming, it can eat these leaves. Like it's very strategic.
Yeah.
And basically it was a great learning process. And then apart from that, we actually had lunch, fun activities. We had if you've checked our page, we had this zetangwa jezi. Zetangwa je. This is it's like an Insta frame.
I've seen them.
We had photography. It was just chilling and vibes and also planting trees.
Do you have another one coming up?
Hiyo kitu nilipatia stress last year bana. What you're doing is you're planning a CSR project in Kamulu.
Yeah.
In April, but that is close to the leadership at the team itself. But we're targeting to do tree planting again. What happened last year, and I made a mistake. I was like, mina kwangole msebede, I want to plant trees on my vision board. Buddha, it's November. I just plant trees. And here I say 2 weeks from now we're planting trees. So I invited everyone, the communities, like everyone, everywhere, Instagram. And I'm like, hey, guys are not contributing bana. Trying to put pande miti 5. Na nimeinvite to kama so, ama to so. So like I felt that pressure, and I learned that leadership is basically leadership is being okay failing in public.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing I learned. Big lesson. The reason why I believe Elon Musk should be paid a lot and paid billions is that if he fails, utasikia mtu amesema, I just knew what would mock, So I just learned that lesson. Like there's some things you'd rather, at least get some funding first than tell people come through now,
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like, hey boss. Yeah. After you said, hey bana, partners. I send a proposal. Like I had this guys who always come through. They're like, hey, you told us too late.
Yeah.
We finished our financial year.
Yeah.
Come, let's talk next year. And so it was nilifeel pressure and nikasema sitaki kukufa mapema bana.
Okay.
And
but you still managed.
And to manage, like it was miracles. Our target was 50K, and on Friday we had about 30K. And we were supposed to do planting on Saturday. Do you know at 5:30 p.m. I got
Friday now.
5:30 p.m. I got the remaining 25K.
Serious?
Imagine.
In a day.
Man, me God and finyaga
Favorite.
and ananiambia, aren't you to wait until the last minute so that you know that it's not you.
11th hour.
11th hour, like man 5:30 ndo napigia tunamwambia please ongezeni miti 10. I call my friend, I'm telling you please add more food. I call my friend, tell her please order an Insta frame. Imagine, like I remember I knew, and my friend tells me we had a pay bill and our friend's fintech company Vertex, and he called me and he told me, Clarence, Nini, I looked at the account and it had an extra 5k. You had used the remaining 25k to make payments. So I looked at it at 528, it's 5k. So I called my friend, and my friend calls me, he's like, Clarence, South Korea has sent 10k. SDGU has sent 10k for the trip landing. Then he's like, I'm like, boss, I've seen that nothing has come yet. Then when I refresh, I'm seeing 25k. Strathmore had also sent 10k in that very
Same
minute.
time.
Same minute.
So when I saw that, I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's good. God's favorite.
Just manze tufunge virago sasa nini,
Yeah.
twende home sasa. So just finishing, it was just an exciting time, and I feel like it gives us purpose. And just to connect with our community just gives us purpose, because I've found that I think it just requires you to have faith, and also when you attach things to community service, it really gives you purpose. It gives you a why. Let's say you decide that Traders Show or in your Forex business that 5% of all profits will go to a children's home. At a point when you are tired about Forex and you lose motivation, you just know probably this time you're working for these kids.
Yeah.
You want to grow so
Good
much so
point.
that you have 5%. You have your 5% is $1 million.
Yeah.
You can
For the
change that
kids.
entire place. And it keeps you in joy, and it gives you perspective. And I feel like this young generation of ours, we're going to change Africa. Because guys are just outgoing. And like, I'm really excited to be part of that, to do my part, my small part in it, and just to encourage guys to do entrepreneurship.
Yeah, because in terms of young guys, like you're mentioning, doing big things in Africa, I don't know, I'm sure, let me not say I don't know, let me just assume, I'm sure you've been following like what has been going on around Africa with people investing, going for venture capitals, like what Market Force did, the $40 million. It's Market Force, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
You saw them, and these are young guys doing a lot. So like you're saying, Africa is doing a lot. Young guys are really building up. And in terms of like, you've mentioned Elon Musk twice. Apart from Elon Musk, just 4 other people you look up to.
Barack Obama. That's number 1. My father. I look up to Will Smith. Okay, we said Warren Buffett. Let me think of someone else. Usually in my head, Vusi. He's actually coming next month.
He's coming?
Yeah.
For what?
For an SME conference.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and they'll actually be they'll bring their funds. So basically,
They're my growth funds
in startups. None of you guys need to join Kenyan together.
Yeah, we need to know this stuff. I didn't know that because we were big fans of Vusi.
Hey, Vusi. And I was like, man, we need to.
What
are
date?
manifesting him.
What date is he
I think
coming?
April 20th to 22nd. I'll share the poster.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, and we'll share with the followers as well.
And so there's Will Smith, there is Warren Buffett, there is Vusi, there's Patrick Bet-David. Do you guys know Patrick Bet-David?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Valuetainment.
Oh my god, I love how he's done entrepreneurship, and also he's just how he's with his family. So I have many heroes in different areas, and they just, I think my personality is just a mix of
yeah, I can see. And locally, one person.
Locally, hey, that's okay. My dad, that's number 1.
Yeah.
Someone who we all know. I would say, let me think. That's a good question. Locally,
Just
do I
one
really
person.
admire? Okay,
Usifikirie sana kama hakuna.
DJ CK, I really admire
Oh,
DJ CK.
the late.
Kabisa. Admire Mwangi wa Equity, who is really amazing. And let me try think of one more person.
Have you heard James Moria's story?
James Moria. Actually, I love James Moria so much. And they came through for Mathare Primary Project Centum.
Oh, they did?
Kabisa. They came through. Nini. I was lucky to meet him once, so I just called him. I told him, I have this project I'm doing. Can you guys support? And he was like, who is this?
Serious? You called him directly?
Yeah. Just talk to my assistant. And then I tell the assistant, hello, I'm Clarence Muhoro, and I've been sent by James Moria
to you
for this project.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So like actually last year I used that to get a lot of.
Where did you meet him?
I met him somewhere. I don't remember where we met. Was it at an event? I just said hi. I was like, hey, James Moria, how are you? I'm a shareholder at Centum. Pleased to meet you. I'd love to come for an internship there.
Yeah.
And he's like, awesome. That's wonderful. Can I get your number? Awesome. And I was with my friends, so they talked a bit.
Yeah.
And then now, I called him and he was like, talk to my assistant. And then I talked to the assistant. Probably the assistant things.
Yeah.
I'm his nephew. Because I'm like, I've been sent by James Moria. You know, not like when you have an opportunity, don't be humble. Don't be humble.
Go for it.
With the corporate. Even when we went to Moran, I got the number of the CEO of Moran. And,
Publishers.
Publishers. And they gave us books worth 300,000. And so like when I was called for an appointment, when he told me, okay, we'll support you.
Yeah.
I'd asked only 400,000. Go talk to this guy. He's a manager. When the manager told him, I've been sent by the chairman to come to you, and he said he's going to support us. You know, he's told me to connect with you and see how it will be done. Imagine. So like,
interesting.
I'm Clarence. I have this. No, I've been sent. I've been sent
from the above.
Yeah, I've been sent from
Orders
above.
from above.
So in any point, I've seen the power of networking and just
Very
being
powerful.
honest.
And how do you do it?
For me, I think having the confidence, being in areas where you can network, KNCCI, these events for businesses. Sometimes it's even down to luck. You're invited somewhere to a sports club for like lunch, and then you see Polika Pigade, and then you're like, Polika, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you. Can I get your... The time I met Polika Pigade, I hugged him. I don't know why I was that excited. You know, my dad was like, do you know this guy? I'm like,
nah.
This guy, he's Nani's friends. Is it Dennis's friend? He's like, no, you're even talking about him the other day. He's like, the former deputy governor. I'm like, Polycarp. And then I hug you. And then we start laughing, and then I'm like, can I have your number?
Okay.
So just, I think, and also KNCCI, Chambers of Commerce, a lot of opportunities to network with people.
Okay. So James Moore is part of the list. Yes,
Yeah, he's part of the list.
Okay. And what's the vision with what you're doing?
With young investors.
What's the long-term goal?
Our goal is, number one, to just fulfill God's purpose in my life. And I believe I've been called to just transform Africa through business and through investment. And I'm passionate about those things.
Nice,
Just to create opportunities for people to create business investment schools that are so big. And then mtu anaingia tu hiyo shule first year, by the time anamaliza third year, started with a business, by the time you're finishing that year, you're being funded.
Yeah.
You have partners who are funding these businesses, and we do a lot of CSR. So the goal is in business investment and CSR. And our aim is to teach over 100 million people or 1 million people in the next 10 years to offer investment management services. Now we're required to have licenses that we are working. You know, Kenya, the regulations are very strict. So just open an investment fund, you require some certificates and also some experience and also some, I think, 10 million in capital for the license.
Reserve capital.
Yeah,
difficult.
Yeah, just for the license.
Yeah.
Just for you to operate that. So working towards that, just to pull investments and help young people do investments. Because the goal is to guide young people to create wealth through business and investment. And that way you can create a lot of wealth for the country and basically kill poverty and create opportunities for people.
Yep.
And for example, if I have 10K, you have 5K, 30K, that's about 50K. And then we have 50 of us. That's about 250K. We can basically make an investment sort of program where you give us this 250K, we buy an Uber, and people, you know, especially if guys are in university, they use that Uber together.
Una believe any business ya Uber?
For example, actually I believe in it kabisa. Because you're in university, so that if it's a girl, and just squeeze on hizo makesi, this nini, ati someone is not feeling safe.
Safety, true.
So you know this guy, you've employed him, and you guys are using this Uber or Taxify or anything. And at the end of the year, you guys are sharing profits from it all. You know, where this land indeed go worth 1M. I can't access it personally, but you're a group of 50 people. You have great management, pull in the finances, we invest in that piece of land.
Okay.
And then now in 3 years, probably sell it at 3M. Profits is distributed, the management is nini. So having investment funds, not only for financial markets, but also for businesses, can really transform an area. And that's what Somalis do. They come together and they work together to build businesses.
Okay. Even Indians.
So now, actually, for youth, probably someone is not really interested into investment, but they can have a place where they can have investment suited for them.
Yeah.
And basically operate these small businesses. And when you have that kind of plan and management and organization, you can change Africa. You go to a community in Samburu, you're like, if you had a posho mill, biashara hapa unatengeneza posho mill, tuanze biashara. Unasema, okay, 30% young investors will contribute. Now we are selling shares to members of this community. And they can invest the 100 bob, 1,000, 50,000, 100,000. Now we have $1 million to put the posho mill up. We employ people from Samburu. And then some people from Samburu, there's great management, and then at the end of the year, people are buying from the posho mill, but then they're also getting returns on their investment, and it's helping the community in terms of business.
That's very impactful.
Yeah.
That's the
Interesting.
vision.
Okay.
Business investment CSR.
Okay, nice. That's pretty much it from my end. I think I've asked all the questions I had.
So if today, like, because you started business pretty early, like at 13 or 14.
Bana. You know when you're saying you have 10 years, when employers say they want 10 years experience, they want you to be 22. Mimi niko nazo. 10
years in business.
Bana.
So if today, like, someone is starting out in, because you have a couple of experiences in business, what advice do you think is the most important for someone who's starting out in business?
I would say just start. Usifikirie zero registration, mara sijui what and what. How I operate, I go to town, I see, what? This is a very beautiful designer shirt. Let me buy 3. I probably have 1,500 in my pocket and one is 5. So let me buy 3. Now let me sell it to my friends for 1,000 and see whether they like it. Then you'll be like, this thing is in demand. Then now you go back and buy 10. Then go back and buy 20. I'd say just start. Just start. Go for it. I don't think about, analysis paralysis. Oh my goodness. What do you think about the now I want to buy 1,000 of them. I need 500,000. Now I'm starting to look for 500,000. I don't use a moja. You know? Go buy 3 and start. I'd say that's as simple as that. Just have faith.
I think
sometimes walk in town and look for a product. Zunguka tao zurure one what can I sell? And then work with other young people. Network. Work with other young people. Okay. Probably you don't have something to sell, but you can come to your investors and sell our products. Or you can see, this guy is selling some good things. Can I help you? How can I help? And can the same way in high school, that guy and I did the Pin Pops business. Work with people too. Work with people, and also just go for it.
Okay.
And just trust, and things will work out.
Have faith.
Have faith.
Actually, in the meeting we had previously before you came for the podcast, I remember you told me you have also other ventures. So you do sell socks, you sell, or you are rather selling. I don't know. So can you tell us a bit about some other, like the F1 apparel you're talking about? You also sell
F1 it's an amazing spot.
Yeah.
So we are selling F1 apparel. But you're really focused nowadays on investment bootcamps. We are working on an entrepreneurship bootcamp. And as I said, we are doing a marketing bootcamp that you guys should sign up for this month.
April,
March. Inakuja next week.
Okay.
How to create a thriving online business. The marketing of it all, the strategies involved. But apart from that, in university, I sold happy socks with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Bana, ukitaka demu mtakuta mnatengeneza pesa pamoja.
Current?
Yeah, current.
Oh, so you're off.
Off the market.
3 years. I think I'll start sasa next time ndakuja kuongelesha about relationships. Nifunze ama jamaa who's dating here.
Who's you?
I think Caleb needs some advice. It's been really exciting, and so she took it over at a point, and she's really running it very well. Follow Happy Socks Forever.
It's still there?
Yeah, it's still there. And she took it over and did a better job, and we had even done Nini. So yeah, we did. When I was starting university, siniliambia story ya Pin Pops na university sasa nilikuwa nashanga what can I sell. Tried selling honey for my friend, tried selling brownies for my friend.
And you're generally just a salesman. That's what you're very, very good at.
I love business, so I try sell. You know, because
it sells.
And I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Purebred entrepreneur, I'd say that.
Okay.
And I've come to realize that for me, how I view business, sometimes people see business as a form of, it's like, some people even don't like people doing business because they feel like you're selfish or anything. but business is spiritual. There's a book called 50 Principles from the Bible.
Yeah.
And showing that business is very spiritual. Basically, through business, it's that you can change the world through business. When you have the right aims and targets. Because me, I'm selling you this shirt because you want it. I'm focusing on what you want. And the guy was saying, what if, you can imagine if you woke up and you had to make your own clothes, to make your own food. Basically, uchunge mbuzi, uende uchinje, ukate hiyo nyama ukule, uende uchukue cotton, uchune, utengeneze shishaki yako. You wouldn't need me. But through business, if I can trust you to make the shirts, you know, trust you to take care of the food. And for me, I can focus on making a car. What happens is codependence.
Specialization.
And the importance of community.
Yeah.
And that brings us basically living as a community. Where you focus on what you do, I focus on what you do, and then we come and help each other.
True.
And so for me, I found it as a way of adding value to people. Basically, training people on investment at very cheap fees. I've paid school fees for the last 4 years. I've bought a lot of books. I've wasted so much time. I've made mistakes. But you get to learn from my mistakes and get guided. For me, if I was in first year and I did the investment boot camp at 3,000 or 4,000 for 2 weeks and got all this information, then I would be 3 years ahead.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
But I'm basically cutting the time, because time is money, and I'm also cutting down the money required.
Yeah.
And also showing you my mistakes. So I feel business is a great value. And if you can't learn how to sell, I feel like
That's the most important skill set.
people have done things with me in terms of getting a lot of opportunities, getting funding, because people just see that you have the right intention.
Yeah.
And people see that your heart is in the right place and that you're organized and you're principled. So I feel like, I remember last year, someone was telling me, hey, this guy can sell you anything. But I just feel like, when I have something, I am open to tell you, look, this project is going to help this school, and this is how it's going to help them. Do you want to partner with us?
Yeah.
And this is what is in it for you. That you'll get brand recognition, you'll serve the community in a very organized way, cheap way. Actually, an idea for you guys.
Yeah.
Companies have a lot of money for CSR, but they never get to it. If I was a CEO, I wouldn't want to hire 3 people to do CSR. That is salaries for the entire year, and probably only doing 2 projects.
Yeah.
I'd rather, what if a young man came, or a young lady came, and she had a proposal in place, very, very efficient, they'll do all the ninis, they just need to do the project, and then once they finish on it, I'll just bring my banner and say it was done by Safaricom or done by ABSA, Life Assurance. And so I realized, actually, there's a lot of value in CSR.
Okay.
And so like these companies are willing to, because that's what Safaricom Foundation does. People apply and they give a lot.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and then now it's a Safaricom Foundation. Right?
Okay, yeah, true.
Guys, when any day you have, either it's to give, either it's to do business, sell it as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay. And you said you're an avid reader. What are like the 5 top books, investments, life, that you've gone through that you can share?
There is Money Master the Game.
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
Good
there
one.
There is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Kiyosaki.
There is Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon.
Which other amazing book? 5 AM Club.
Robin Sharma.
And probably one other one that I really like that I've been reading. I've been reading the last 2 weeks. I've read 2. It's The Alchemist.
Coelho.
And there is one called The Ride of a Lifetime.
I don't know that.
It's by the CEO of Disney.
Okay,
Amazing.
that's the book I was looking for.
Bob
I've not
Iger.
read that
Iger,
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Iger,
I'm eager
okay.
it's a biography, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing. Autobiography.
Okay. I look for it. It's been recommended by a couple of people, but I've not read it.
It's
personally.
amazing. And the guy talks about his journey. I love people's journeys. And he said that he realized that for him to take Disney to the next level, he needed to focus on 3 things. That is high quality content, technology, and global reach. So even in your business, thinking long term, high quality content, so high quality products, technology, integrated technology as much as possible, and global reach. How do I get to someone in Zimbabwe?
Yep.
How do I get to UK?
Yeah. So as we sum up,
just a minute. I think we've not gotten that. Like, how much do you charge for your courses and stuff?
Our boot camps. We have 3 packages: silver, gold, and platinum. Silver is 1,500, gold is 3,000, platinum is 4,500.
They're all 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're divided. One is 4 classes, the other one is 6, the other one is 8 classes.
Okay.
Oh, so 4 classes, 1,500.
Yeah.
6 classes,
3,000.
3,000. And the other one
Platinum is 8 classes.
8 classes.
And then, we also have guests coming on board into the bootcamps, industry experts. And then for Platinum, you also have quarterly calls to just check on your progress.
Yeah.
And then for anyone who's in this podcast, 20% off.
Ish.
Ish.
Salesman.
There you had it, people. 20% off.
Okay. So, as you sum up, how and where can people find you? So, I've listened to you, I'm interested, but now I don't know where to find you.
So Instagram, Clarence _Muhoro. Our business is _investors_space. So Young Investors Africa, _investors_space. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Clarence Muhoro.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have it, guys. There you have it. You've heard a lot about the Kenyan stock market. I personally have learned a lot. So there's a lot that I didn't know about the Kenyan stock market. I still need to do some research. I'm more focused on the global market. So like you said, our main focus also is in the Forex market, in the indices market, in the American markets, European markets. That's what we look at on a day-to-day basis. But there's also the local market, and you can make a lot of money also by looking at the local market. The principles, I think, are still the same, only that the volume, maybe the times of the opening or the trading, the companies are quite different. But the principles will always remain the same. As long as you're investing, you'll use the same principle. So hopefully you've learned something. Clarence has told you where you can find him. You know where you can find us. Jekwa Towers, 17th floor. www.financialhubfx.com. Sorry, my camera guy is pushing me here and there, so that's why you can see me a bit confused. But anyway, so I think we can sum up there. We will see you on the next episode. Hopefully you've learned something. Leave a comment, give a suggestion, and we'll be sure to do what you guys are requesting. So peace out.
See you guys.